Welcome to Revenza Tales, where family betrayals kindle the fiercest revenges. What if your own brother swindled you out of your family's cherished farmhouse? Meet Elise, a steadfast caretaker whose dreams crumble when her siblings' lies strip her heritage bare. But Elise is crafting a vengeance as enduring as the land itself. Smash that like button, subscribe for more heart-stopping drama, and comment your family feuds below. The farmhouse stood proud on a windswept hill in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, its weathered clapboard walls bathed in the golden glow of late summer sunsets. The air carried the scent of fresh hay, wildflowers, and the faint tang of manure, a symphony that had shaped Elise Warren's life since she was a girl. Elise, 34, had grown up in the sprawling rooms of the Warren farmhouse, chasing fireflies with her grandfather, Amos, whose calloused hands taught her to plant corn and mend fences, his deep chuckle echoing through the fields. The farmhouse wasn't just a home, it was a legacy, a 200-acre haven of rolling pastures, a red barn, and a creaking porch where neighbors gathered for stories and lemonade. Amos's will, read in the farmhouse's oak-paneled dining room last spring, left the property and a $9 million trust to Elise, the granddaughter who'd tended the land and kept its traditions alive. Her younger brother, Derek, 31, inherited a small rental cottage nearby, but his tight jaw at the reading, paired with his habit of rubbing his thumb over his knuckles when plotting, hinted at brewing resentment. Derek, with his pressed shirts and a tendency to check his smartwatch mid-conversation, had always scoffed at the farm's backwoods charm, eyeing it for development deals. The betrayal landed like a blight on the crops. Elise was in the barn, brushing down the family's old mare, Daisy, the scent of leather and hay grounding her, when a courier arrived with a sealed envelope. It summoned her to a law office in Lancaster, a sterile room with fluorescent lights and the faint hum of an air conditioner, where Derek leaned against a desk, knuckles rubbing slowly. He slid a revised will across the polished surface, his smirk sharp. "Grandpa saw reason," he said, his voice smooth as a city sidewalk. The document, stamped with notary seals, reassigned the farmhouse and $9 million to Derek. Elise's hands trembled, the paper crinkling under her grip. "This isn't real," she whispered, her voice catching like a snagged fence wire. Derek's eyes glinted, his watch silent for once. "You're too stuck in the mud, Elise. Grandpa knew you'd let this place rot with your old-fashioned ways." The words stung. Amos had praised her organic farming and community fairs, calling her the land's keeper. When Elise demanded proof, Derek's attorney, a wiry man with a clipped mustache and a gold pen, played a video on a laptop. Amos, frail in a hospital bed, his voice shaky, confirming the change. Elise's chest tightened. Amos's eyes were dull, not the lively spark she knew. Devastated, she stumbled out, the office's cold air choking her, the farmhouse's silhouette fading in the distance. Was Derek's scheme unbreakable, or could she unearth the roots of his deceit? Elise refused to let her legacy wilt. She moved into a cramped trailer on the edge of town, the hum of a faulty fan her nightly companion as she worked shifts at a local feed store to scrape by. Each morning, she'd drive past the farmhouse, her heart twisting at Derek's neglect. Fields overgrown, the barn's paint peeling, the porch swing motionless. Gossip spread at the farmers' co-op. Derek was pitching the land to a corporate developer for a sprawling suburb. Amos would have cursed the idea. He tilled every acre for family and community, not profit. Elise hired a lawyer, but Derek's evidence held firm, her savings dwindling with legal fees. Nights in the trailer, surrounded by Amos's old seed packets, their faded labels a comfort, she clutched his pocket watch, its ticking a reminder of shared harvests. How could Amos betray her after years of dawn-to-dusk work together? Hope sprouted when Elise reconnected with her cousin Nora, 28, Derek's half-sister from their mother's second marriage. Nora, with her curly ponytail and habit of twirling a straw when nervous, met Elise at a roadside diner, the clatter of plates mingling with their urgent whispers. The diner smelled of bacon and nostalgia, a faint echo of farmhouse breakfasts. "Derek was controlling during Grandpa's illness," Nora said, straw spinning in her fingers. "He screened all coals, said Grandpa was too weak." Elise's pulse quickened. She tried visiting Amos weekly, but Derek always blocked her, citing doctor's orders. They rummaged through Nora's attic, dust swirling under a bare bulb, and found a locked tin box with Amos's initials. Inside, a journal revealed his fears. "Derek's hounding me about the will. Elise is the farm's heart." Elise's throat tightened, tears smudging the ink. Amos hadn't forsaken her. But could this sway a judge? Determined, Elise tracked down Amos's old farmhand, Mr. Calvin, a gruff man in his 60s with a love for whittling and a habit of chewing mint leaves. They met on his porch, the air heavy with mint and freshly cut grass, as he carved a tiny tractor. Amos was sharp, always talking about you, Mr. Calvin said, spitting a leaf. Derek kept us away, said it was for Amos's health. Elisa's suspicions surged. Her letters to Amos had vanished. Mr. Calvin mentioned Derek's odd visits to a tech shop in town. Back in her trailer, rain pattering on the tin roof, Elise pinned timelines to a board, her coffee mug staining Amos's journal. What if the video was doctored? The question gnawed like a pest in the fields. Suspense thickened on a stormy night. Elise, heart-pounding, used Nora's spare key to Derek's office in his cottage, the door creaking as thunder rumbled. The space was tidy, all chrome and glass, smelling of Derek's cologne. She hacked his computer, password Land King, predictably smug, finding emails to a video forger about altering Amos's approval. The dates were post-Amos's death. Elisa's hands shook copying files, lightning flashing outside, each click echoing like a heartbeat. A car pulled up. Derek early? She hid under the desk, breath shallow, as he entered, knuckles rubbing, muttering about investors, but he grabbed a file and left. Slipping out, rain soaking her, Elisa's relief was fleeting. Derek was hosting a community fair to seal the developer deal. Time was running out. Elisa's motivation burned, honoring Amos's legacy, saving the farmhouse for Lancaster, undoing Derek's greed. Her plan demanded cunning, a personal strike at Derek's pride in a public arena. She rallied locals at barn dances, sharing Amos's stories over cider, stirring nostalgia. Farmers grumbled. Derek's ruining the land. Suspense grew as support swelled. Elise met the developer's VP, Ms. Harper, at a county market, hinting at title disputes over homemade jam. Ms. Harper's eyes sharpened. She'd investigate. Elisa's hopes surged. The seed was planted. Nora accessed farm records from Amos's old safe, the combination hidden in a seed catalog. Security footage showed Derek pressuring Amos in his hospital room, his voice sharp, "Sign it, or the farm's done." Elisa's tears fell watching it. Amos's exhaustion was palpable. Bank records revealed Derek siphoning funds pre-death to a shell company. Elisa's trailer became a war room, walls covered in evidence, sleep lost to strategy. Risks escalated. Derek's guards patrolled the farm, their flashlights sweeping. Elise dodged a confrontation at the co-op, Derek's glare chilling her. Deepening her scheme, Elise consulted Mr. Calvin for financial clues. In his barn, tools scattered, he confirmed Derek's debts, his mint chewing steady. "He's leveraged the farm already," he warned. Elise wove in exposing Derek's financial ruin. Anonymous flyers, farmhouse secrets, appeared around town, sparking buzz. Derek called voice icy. "Back off, Elise." Fear crept in, but defiance surged. As the fair loomed, tension peaked. Elise rehearsed her speech, voice echoing in her trailer. Nora scouted the venue, noting AV setups, but a guard cornered her. "Who are you with?" She fled, straw twirling frantically, warning Elise. A leaked article, "Farmhouse Betrayal?" hit local papers, amplifying stakes. Derek cancelled appearances, his knuckles rubbing in photos. Elise tailed him, heart pounding, avoiding detection. The fair night glowed with lanterns, the farmhouse alive with music, hayrides, and the scent of apple pie. Derek, in a crisp blazer, pitched prosperity, his watch silent. Elise, in a borrowed dress, slipped in, evidence drive in her pocket. Her purpose thrummed, justice for Amos, farmhouse's salvation. As Derek spoke on a stage, Elise cued a loyal worker to hack the projector. Screens lit up. Derek's coercion, video edits, bank trails. The crowd gasped, then roared. Elise took the stage, voice ringing, "This is Grandpa's truth." She laid bare the deceit, projections blazing, outrage swelling. Derek shouted, "She's lying," but the tide turned. Ms. Harper stood. Deals off, tainted. Police, pre-alerted, cuffed Derek, his protests fading. The true will restored Elisa's rights. Derek, convicted, lost all, retreating to obscurity. Elise revived the farmhouse, fairs bustling, Amos's spirit alive. Healing unfolded slowly. Elise replanted fields, her hands in the soil, crops thriving again. Nora managed events, her straught whirling a fixture. Mr. Calvin taught kids to whittle, his tractors a fair hit. Derek's letters pleaded, ignored. One dusk, by Amos's favorite oak, Elise whispered thanks. The farmhouse thrived, a testament to love. Years later, Elise mentored a young farmer, passing on Amos's legacy, vengeance blooming into renewal. The aftermath was a harvest of restoration. Elise spent months repairing the farmhouse, her hands blistered from sanding floors, rehanging family photos, and restoring the porch swing, its creak a comfort. The barn was repainted red, its doors open for community dances, neighbors swaying to fiddles under starlight. Nora became indispensable, her organizational skills turning chaos into joy, her straw now a bookmark in farm ledgers. Mr. Calvin, his mint leaves a fair staple, shared tales of Amos's grit, kids gathered around his whittling bench. The town rallied, markets packed with locals chanting "Warren Farm lives." Shadows lingered, though. Nights when storms rattled the trailer, Elise woke clutching Amos's watch, haunted by Derek's smirk. She'd walk the farmhouse, the creak of floors grounding her, Amos's photo a silent guide. Legal battles dragged Derek's appeals like weeds, but new witnesses emerged, a nurse who'd seen Derek tamper with Amos's phone, her testimony sealing his fate. Conviction came in a packed courtroom, Derek's knuckles still, his defiance broken as the judge sentenced him to years behind bars, his assets seized. Elise watched from the back, no triumph, just closure, the gavels echo like a gate shutting. With the farmhouse secure, Elise expanded her vision. She launched a farm school, teaching kids to plant and harvest, their laughter echoing Amos's joy. Community events flourished, harvest festivals with hayrides, winter bonfires with storytelling, and a spring fair celebrating Lancaster's roots. One night, a shy farmer approached Elise, her produce basket trembling. "Your story inspired me to keep my land." Elise hugged her, the pocket watch warm against her chest, a bridge to Amos's spirit. Years turned the farmhouse into a landmark, featured in travel guides for its heart. Elise, now with gray streaks in her hair, mentored her niece, teaching her to tend the land, echoing Amos's patience. Derek's name faded to whispers, a cautionary tale. In quiet moments, Elise walked the fields, the wind carrying peace, knowing vengeance had forged rebirth. The farmhouse stood eternal, a monument to resilience. The expansion didn't stop at events. Elise partnered with schools for AG programs, kids learning to sew, their excitement mirroring her childhood wonder. She built a community kitchen, sharing Amos's recipes, the scent of cornbread drawing crowds. Personal milestones marked the years. Elise wrote a farm journal, its pages chronicling the saga, published to acclaim. Nora found love with a local brewer, their wedding a farmhouse feast, vows exchanged under the oak tree. Mr. Calvin, slower now, gifted his carvings, a tractor statue on the porch. Derek's prison letters arrived, claims of reform, but Elise filed them away, focusing on growth. One letter, opened late, read, "I see what I lost." No reply sent. Her peace was her own. As decades passed, Elise handed the reins to her niece, retiring to a cottage with farm views, writing sequels to her journal. The book series inspired farmers worldwide, the farmhouse's story a beacon. In her garden, flowers blooming, Elise held the pocket watch, whispering to Amos, "We kept the land alive." The legacy endured, revenge's fire cooled to a lasting harvest. That's how Elise reaped her triumph on Revenza Tales. Would you have sown such a plan, or let family ties bind you? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if this epic saga gripped you, smash that like button and subscribe for more thrilling family revenge tales every week.